Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and this is a little bit of a different one. I'm going to kind of show you a little piece of my makeup collection, and I posted a picture of one of my Z palettes that I filled with, that I was going to fill with Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and it was one of the brand new Z palettes from their fall bright color collection. So then I thought, you know what, I am one of the most OCD organized people, and I love putting makeup in palettes, and it really has not only makes my life easier because I can see everything and actually use it, but it just looks good and it saves a lot of time, a lot of space. So I thought, you know, I would show you my Z palette collection because I swear by them. They're holy grail organizers in my kit and my personal collection, and you might get some ideas, and maybe this will help you get a little bit of organization on. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you my personal Z palettes and the ones that are in my kit. So everything is from zpalette.com, and I've bought some of these over the years, and then some of them were gifted to me by Zena of Z Palette when we became friends from always seeing her at the makeup show. So you're going to see a lot of different shapes and sizes, and I like to organize them by either brand or purpose or kind of category. So let me start with my personal Z Palette. So when I first started depotting, I think everybody started depotting their MAC eyeshadows. And then from there I noticed I had so many random individual containers that I was not using, like individual trios, individual shadows, little blushes. So it went on like a depotting spree. And when I say depot, it's like you take something that's like in an individual compact or container, and then you pretty much, there are different ways to do it, but I do a flat iron method. You take the pan, you put it on heat, and then you can pop out the individual silver tray of makeup without all the plastic container, and then you stick it in your palette, so it's like pretty much like a individually made custom palette. So you know, you might be able to buy a palette like this that's like pre-made, so now you can do it with any brand, any product, and you can do it on your own. So for example, when I first started, I have, this is actually kind of messy because I think a shadow broke, but I took all of my neutral eyeshadows. I have in here Sonia Kashuk, I have in here Bare Essentials, I have Urban Decay, Josie Marin, a whole bunch of different neutral eyeshadows, and I put them in here. And I don't use this palette as much, but when I do want something neutral, I'll just pull it out, and I know I have a whole bunch of different brands and neutrals in here. And then I did the exact same thing with a bright. So this one I can open because the other one has a cracked shadow in it, so I have to be careful. So this is the original size, by the way, like the large size. So this is the black one, and you see it has the plastic clear front, which made it really, really huge because, for example, people were using MAC palettes, but they don't have a clear front, or they might now, but they didn't before. So you can just fold the top over, and it's cardboard. And as you can see, I put a whole bunch of my individual color shadows in here. And again, various brands. In here, for example, these are L'Oreal Hip Duos, which are really old, Sugar Pale, Josie Marin, I have Urban Decay, I have Avita, I have, I think this is Makeup Forever or Sugar Pill, I have Stila. So I have all different brands, and you kind of make a puzzle out of it. You try to fit as much in there as possible. So I put a whole bunch of the squares next to each other and then the round. But again, so this is one little palette right here, see, and you can just stack them in your makeup vanity or in your travel case. And if I didn't have that, all the shadows in just one palette, it would probably be like a whole container of various compacts and containers. So this is my personal, these are some of my personal collection. These are like one of my first depottings. That's why I think some of them are broken, because I didn't really depot that well in the beginning. You have to kind of be patient with it. So then let me move on to some more, some other ones. So those are eyeshadows, and then I started depotting like my bigger compacts. And sometimes you're lucky and you'll get compacts like this one from Avita that already come in a pan, and you can just pop them right in. The key though, I did a whole video on depotting and putting in Z palettes. The key is you need a steel pan because the palette's magnetic. So if the pan isn't steel, you're gonna have to put like a magnet behind it, or a steel sticker. You're gonna have to put a steel sticker behind it. So here's one that I ghetto rigged on my own. I put a steel sticker on it. You see it right there. But now Z palettes come with steel stickers, so you don't have to do that. But in here I have an old MAC limited edition kind of blush bronzer, Avita bronzer. I think this is Ofra. This is some NYX stuff. and MAC. So I put face palette stuff in its own Z palette too. So this is my personal collection. And if I didn't put it in here, I promise I would never reach for them because they would be stuck in some drawer or some bin in their individual containers. So let me show you some other stuff. Here's a recent thing I did. I got some new products from Inglot, and I just kind of stuck them in here. So basically, if I go to a show, like a makeup show, a trade show, what I'll do is I'll put some of my more recent purchases in a Z palette, and that way I kind of use it and I can see it. So I have some new Inglot shadows in here. I have a Sauce Box shadow, and I also have some Stila shadows I depotted. So these are kind of newer shadows, but I kind of put them all together so I know I can reach for it easily. And this is one of the limited edition like holiday palettes, so it's like a crocodile leather kind of burgundy color, which is really pretty. And then another palette that I did is I have a whole bunch of Alcone at Home products, which you guys know I'm a brand ambassador for them. So convenient because they all fit in this palette, and I have individual eyeshadows, a concealer, foundation. This is RCMA foundation, Dermacolor Kryolan concealer, and then some blushes and even lipsticks and eyeshadows. So this is all one brand. This is all Alcone at Home products, and I love that because when I go on the road for Alcone, like I'll just bring this one palette, and this is what I'll use to do my makeup at a trade show or to teach a class. So it's super convenient. And again, you can tell this is, I'll look at it and I'm like, oh, this is my Alcone palette because I can see right through it. So that's that. And then this is a really messy palette, but what I do with this one, let me make sure it's kind of more in order, is I'll have a whole bunch of like travel products that I kind of switch in and out. So as you can see, I have some handmade concealer pans. So you can buy the empty pans as well from Z Palette, and then you can fill them with concealer, lipstick, you can depot pigments and press pigments in them. But I'll have foundation and powders that I kind of randomly throw in here when I'm switching in and out of my travel palettes, which I'll show you in a second. And this is actually the Dome Z palette, so as you can see it's a little bit bigger, and I'll show you another way to use that. So speaking of travel palettes, so what I like to do when I travel is I use the 4U size. So they have a smaller size, which is like a square, but I find that's a little too small for me. So when I travel, I bring these two palettes with me, and it can pretty much hold all the powder, eyeshadows, blushes, powders, all that I need. And let me show you. So I have this one. This is the 4U palette in black. So in here, I have all the eyeshadows that I use. So I have a couple of Inglot shadows. I have like you know, like an orangey neutrals, and then some browns, and then some pinks. And then I have a couple of shimmery kind of metallics. I have a red lipstick in here, a black, and some brow powders, a highlight color, and like a bronzy powder. So these are all the eyeshadows I use, along with a red lipstick right here that I put in a pan. And it's really convenient because I don't really use any other eyeshadows than what I can fit in here, and I might switch in and out. But I know I can do a whole look with what's in this little palette, and it's really small and very secure, so I travel with that. And then I have another 4U palette, and again, this is from that same Christmas collection with the crocodile leather-like finish. And in here I have all my face products. So I have a little yellow highlight from Graphtobian, which I put in a little palette. And then I have some highlight and contour powders from the Anastasia contour kit. Highlight, contour. I have a bronzer right here. I have an Inglot eyeshadow, which I use as a blush. And then I have a MAC blush. So all of my blushes, contour powders, concealers, and are all in here along with my shadows. So look, this takes like no room at all, and you can easily stick this like in any size makeup bag, so it's perfect for traveling. And here's another style of it. So Xena and Z Palette, they're always coming out with new colors and collections, so you can definitely find one for your personality. This one's a really pretty kind of aqua and yellow kind of gridded design. And in here, just so you know, I have a Tarte Amazonian clay blush. So those stick immediately on there when you take them out of the compacts. And this is a Graphtobian blush. So like I said, I kind of switch in and out, and I just kind of, you know, mix and match, which is great because you're not committed to a certain palette. Like if you get tired of like a pre-built palette, then you're kind of stuck with it. But with the Z palettes, you can kind of mix and match. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the palettes that stay in my professional kit. So first what I'm going to show you is a palette that I use that I just used for a wedding this weekend. So this is a Z palette, and this is a domed one. So as you can see, it's thicker than a traditional one. So here's a traditional one right here. So you can see it's definitely got more depth to it. So when I'll do a client, like I'll do a bride, I'll make them their own custom palette, and that kind of saves me time and space. So I did a bride this weekend, and these are all of the items that I use in this one palette. So I put some mineralized powders, I put like a highlight powder, the face color, and then the darker color to bronze. So these are all MAC mineralized MSFs. Then I put, this is a MAC shaping powder to do another highlight. This is a Graftobian, the blush color she had. This is the lipstick she used, which is MAC Viva Glam 5, and I stuck the lipstick in a little round pan. And then these are the eyeshadows she used. So she had, I used black, I used a bronze, a highlight, a brown, some shimmers, and then a crease transition. And then this is an Anastasia brow powder, which pops right in as well. So these are all the products I use. So instead of reaching for different things, when I have a client, I'll just make them their own custom palette. And this is the dome size, so it can fit any product. And it's so convenient. So that's what I just did this weekend. Okay, so this is my MAC MSF palette, my MSF natural palette. So they're all mineralized powders. And it originally came in a compact. They all came in a compact, but it was too bulky and they didn't store well in my kit. So I just depotted them, and I stuck two of the steel stickers that come with your Z palettes on the back, as well as like the MAC label. So now they stick on here. If I didn't put the steel sticker, it wouldn't stick to the magnet. So some people might try to put magnetic stickers on them, but the best is steel, because magnet doesn't stick to magnet well, but magnet sticks to metal. So doesn't this look so nice? And these are all my face powders. And again, since it's a dome palette, even though they're round and lifted, they fit all nicely in here. I just love looking at it. So I have just 6 colors, and these kind of hit most of the shade ranges. So I love that. Then in here, this is a regular size. Actually, I think this is the extra large size. It seems a little bit bigger. Yeah, so there's a regular size, and this is a larger size palette. And the large is good because it fits some of my bigger face products. So in here, this is my customized contour and highlight palette. So I think I'm missing something still, but I love it because I have a whole bunch of MAC shape and sculpting powders in here, as well as some individual eyeshadows and some other products. So I can pretty much grab this and I can highlight and contour any client, any skin tone, and it's all in one palette. And like I said, this is a larger size, so it comes in handy because it holds these big pans. So I love that. These are like 2 of my most used palettes in my kit, and I love them. Another palette which I made is my bronzer palette, and I love this. This is also one of the larger sized. And I open it up, and I depotted all of my favorite bronzers in here, and I use these on clients to contour, to warm up their skin, to add a glow. So I have, these are, I believe, what are these? I think these are the CoverGirl bronzers, the ebony bronzers. And then I have some these are, and yeah, NYC bronzers, and I have a cargo bronzer in there too. So again, I love this palette, and it looks so nice and organized. And imagine if you had 6 huge bronzer compacts sliding around, because you know they don't stack well because they're round. And then instead of that, you have the one palette. So I love that. Okay, so let's go into eyeshadow. So this is a palette I made that stays in my kit. And some of these palettes are missing colors because I put them in that bridal palette. But this is a regular size, and in here I kind of put more metallic-y fun colors. So in my kit I only carry neutrals and a few fun shades. I used to have a whole bunch of crazy brights, but now most clients don't want crazy neons and whatnot. But there are a few fun colors like pinks, purples, and a whole bunch of metallics. So these are mainly MAC shadows in here. And I keep this in my kit. I don't take it out, and I find that these colors are really good for most clients. So there are a whole bunch of MAC shadows. I have 2 Ofra shadows in there too. And then this is the neutral palette that I was talking about. It's missing a few colors, like I said, because I put them in that custom bridal palette. So these are mainly MAC eyeshadows, and these are like my staple neutrals. So whenever I do a palette, you might notice I kind of organize it by colors. So you can do whatever you want, horizontal, vertical. I just go usually horizontally, and I go light to dark. So I love this palette. Like I said, I have all of my highlight shades, my crease transition shades, my smoky shades, and it's like stays in my kit, and I find that I don't ever have to really add any colors because I have those. And then this is my last eyeshadow palette, which I love because I think it looks really nice. So I'm just kind of adjusting it a little bit so it looks nice and neat. Okay, so this is my Stila palette, my Stila eyeshadow palette, and check out this beautiful cherry blossom design. This is one of the Z palette limited edition colors. So I have in here 3 palettes worth of Stila. It's like in the air, in the no, and in the light palettes. So they originally came in 3 cardboard palettes, but I depotted them, and I have a video on that, which I'll link. And look how nice and organized it looks. So pretty. And I even had a whole, like a little bit of a skinny row at the bottom where I put some more of those Ofra, like thin rectangular shadows. So again, really wearable colors for my kit. You've got neutrals as well as purples and some pinks and some smokies. I love this palette, so I use this a lot. So like most of my eyeshadows, this is all I carry in terms of eyeshadows in my professional kit, and that's it pretty much. So it's really convenient, it's not taking up a lot of room. And the last thing I wanted to show you is a brand new Z palette in my collection, and this is part of their new fall bright color collection. So I have an orange one, and I also have like a bright aqua, and this is all of my brand new Makeup Geek eyeshadows. It just makes me happy looking at it. So these are, when you buy the Makeup Geek eyeshadows, they come just like in a pan like this. So they're already steel and they stick to the magnet. And then even Makeup Geek sells Z palettes on their sites because that's what they tell you to put them in. But I organized them a little bit according to neutrals, kind of like purples, and then shimmers. So this is all my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I actually am missing one, so I couldn't fit one in there. So I think I'm going to go to the new pro size, or I think this is like the, there's a couple different ones. I'm getting confused. There's a regular, there's a large, there's a pro size, and I think this is a new extra large one. So as you can see, it's much bigger. I think I'm going to put the Makeup Geek into here because I still want to get a couple more shades, and I like to keep one brand together. I don't know why. It's an OCD in me. So I use these eyeshadows for this eye look today, and it was really convenient because when I do a vlog post, I can just take a picture of this palette and everything I use is in it, and it looks so pretty and nice. So these are all Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and that is my Z palette collection. Oh, here's the one lonely eyeshadow that didn't fit in that palette. It's right in the corner here. So that is my Z palette collection. I hope I gave you guys some ideas on how to organize your makeup in your kit. And all of these products are available at Z palette. A lot of retailers sell them now, like Makeup Geek. You can get them even now at Sephora. They have special Sephora ones. So I'll put the links below. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some ideas. I'll have pictures of all these palettes on makeupbyrenren.com, as well as the different ones you can get. And believe me, it's worth the investment. They're very durable, and they save you so much time and space, and they make you use the products you have. So I'm a die-hard Z palette fan. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And until next time, have a great night. Ciao, Bellas.